Welcome to the Practically Speaking podcast. It's me, your host, Marieno, Brisbon. I'm so excited to be back with you all. Listen, it has been a lot that has taken place over the past 3 weeks. I think almost a month, I haven't been able to do an episode. And it's not because I didn't want to. It was because of things that were happening in my life and in our family's life. Some good, some were not so good, but needless to say, I have a lot to talk about, a lot to share with you all. A lot of things took place, and I know that this particular season didn't go as I wanted it to go in. As far as guests, we had one guest on. I had others lined up. Just didn't work out where I want to work out. And so, like I was saying, a lot of things took place. A lot of things transpired over the past 4 weeks, and I'll say that God has really been speaking. He's really been in the midst of everything. And one of the things that I've noticed recently is that my wife had to have a procedure done, and this was last week. And it was a procedure that had a lot of things involved. She had to actually go into surgery. There were some hospital stay afterwards, and then some recovery time. And it was a surgery that needed to happen because of some things that we were like going back and forth about. I think I shared with you all on, don't remember episode, probably was in the first season, about my wife having kidney cancer and that whole ordeal. And because of that cancer, she has to do yearly scans. Just it's a proactive thing to make sure that nothing else is coming in her body, nothing else is growing in her body. And so about 2.5 years ago, she went in for her normal scan, and they found these little small nodules on her lung. They were not worried about them. It wasn't something that they were worried about. They just was going to watch it. And then another scan, she went in, it wasn't there. And then another scan, it was there. Still, they were not worried. But they wanted to do some biopsies. They did these biopsies, and both times they came back inconclusive, not because they couldn't figure out, but they couldn't get what they needed, the sample of the nodule. And so that's why they couldn't get a proper test. So that led to the last option, which is a lungoscopy. Basically, they would go in and cut the nodule out, and then be able to test it and do whatever, blah, 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 this and that. So that's what we had to do last week. And here's what I found out. As heavy as that was, not just for me, but my wife and just our family as a whole, I decided I was going to fast for this particular procedure. I was in the gym one morning, and our coach happened to be talking about he was fasting for his family, and he was on 6 days of no water, and he was just waiting on God's voice to release him off of the fast. But he was fasting for his family, which kind of prompted me to fast for this particular procedure and my wife. Now, here's the thing. I had been praying about this procedure when we found out we was going to have this procedure. I had been praying to God that everything would go the way that it's supposed to go, that he would become the doctor's hands, that the nodules would not be hard to get, that they won't have to take as much of the lung in which they were saying they were going to take, that her recovery time won't be such as longer period of time. These are the things I was praying probably about 2 weeks prior to the procedure. And I prayed them every day. And so then I decided I was going to fast for 3 days. Her procedure was on a Thursday. I started fasting on a Tuesday. Nothing but water. And this is where I found out just how much I need God. Not that I did not know I needed him, but it just took on a different meaning this time around in this fast. Because the fast was nothing but water for 3 days. I was going to fast all the way up into after she got out of the surgery. So it wasn't like I was getting to the day of the surgery and then the fast was over. No, I was fasting until the surgery was over. And so Monday evening came, and I started getting a little worried about the surgery. Fearful, fretful, anxious about it. But before that, I was not. I was like in this good space. Like, okay, God, you're going to do this. We're going to move on. Continue to go around this mulberry bush about this. We was going to move on. But the week of the surgery, it seemed like fear, anxiety, and all those things tried to arrest me, which is really weird. And so I had to battle through this mental thing of everything is going to be okay. I had to trust God that everything is going to be okay. And so that's what I did. And so Monday evening came, and I started getting anxious about the fast because this meant nothing but water for 3 days. And here's the funny thing about it. In previous times, I've done fasts with just water before, but it's been a minute since I've done that type of fast, the whole day, nothing but water. So I was getting a little anxious about the fast. Was I going to be able to make it? Lord, I don't want to let you down. I don't want to let my wife down. I'm believing that you would move on our behalf. All of those things I'm praying to God as I'm going into this fast. I had this whole thing as whenever I felt like I was going to get hungry, then I would go and read the scripture. I would go pray. These things is what I decided I was going to do as I was going into this fast. I did not share with my wife I was fasting for her. I didn't share it with anyone, honestly. You all are the first ones since the procedure that I've shared this with. And so Tuesday comes. It was sort of kind of hard. And then Wednesday, I was really nervous about Wednesday because Wednesday at my gym is what we call Metcon. And so it's a really high, intense HIIT workout. It's very intensive. And so it takes a lot of strength. And me not eating anything but only having water, I was afraid of how was I going to make it through the workout. So I come in and I ask my coach about how did he make it through when he was fasting for those 6 days? How did he make it through for Metcon? Because he works out with us. And he said, he just shrugged his shoulder and was like, I just did it. And he was like, pace yourself. Just pace yourself. So I was like, okay, I'll just pace myself. I'll just pace myself and we'll see what happens from here. And I did. And that was that day. I'm going to tell you all of this, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill in the blanks with some things that I think that we can gain from this. It's my prayer that you can gain from it. I'm just trying to paint the picture for you right now. And then Thursday comes. At this point, my body is acclimated to the fast, and I am just still believing and praying, doing my normal praying time. And so we get up early that morning and go into surgery. We drive down to the hospital and get in line, and we do all the registration and all of those things. And we're sitting there. And the nurse comes out and she calls my wife's name, but she tells us to, stay seated. So she comes over to us, and they actually had to push her surgery time back. We were due for surgery at 7:45, so we was at the hospital like at 5 something, and so they pushed her surgery time back because there was another patient who was about to receive a lung transplant, and so that's a 10-hour surgery, I think it is, and so they were saying, well, we got to push her time back. We don't know when we're going to be able to bring you in, but it will be today. It's just not going to be the time that you were scheduled for, and we'll keep you updated as to the time. And here's what I want to talk about. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I found myself really depending on God just to make it through the next day. The moments that I felt like I wanted to think about the next day, I was immediately drawn back into the present. Like, hey, worry about just making it through this day. Just worry about that. Don't get so caught up in what's going to happen tomorrow, because you're still dealing with what's going on today. And I have experienced God in fast before, but this time was a different experience because I literally every day leaned on Him to walk me through every day. I was finding strength only in Him to make it through every day. The moments that I felt hungry, the moments that I wanted to get something to eat, the moments that I felt weary, the moments that I felt fearful, I literally had to lean on God. And so there is a scripture that talks about don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has enough worries of its own. That's paraphrasing. Basically, stay present in today. Don't get so caught up in tomorrow because you're still dealing with things in today. Because if you go into the next day, then you add on extra worry and fear, and you're still maybe dealing with something in the present day. So why add on extra stress? And so through this process, I've learned that the reality is that we need God every day. There is not a day that goes by that we don't need him. And it made me do an introspect of myself, that how I have become so comfortable and just going through day by day, believing that I can do it in my own strength and not realizing that it's not in my strength that I'm making it through the days. It's God that is keeping me, even when I don't realize that he's keeping me. And so not being able to eat and just deal with water and know that you have to still do your normal responsibilities in the day. That's being a dad of twins. That's taking care of house chores and all of those things and working. And you're doing all of this just on water. There's no possible way in our own strength that we're able to do that. When you really dial that down and think about that, there's no possible way that you are able to do that without injuring yourself. And so God's strength is a real thing. And so when you look at your day and then you get to the end of your day and you realize, or you have believed in yourself that you made yourself make it through the day, you realize that that's not true. That's really not true. It was God's strength the whole time. And even if you don't even know God, it's still God that guided you through the day. And so I had to lean on God every day just to make it through that fast. Which prompted me to have a new outlook on days following the fast when I get back into my normal routine of things. That I really have to lean on him. That there's nothing that I'm doing or can do or will do without him. That there's no possible way that I'm able to accomplish anything without God. Yes, we can get knowledge from reading. Yes, we can get understanding from just things we've learned around from our environment. But at the end of the day, the thing that's holding us up, the thing that is getting us from day by day, hour by hour, week by week, month by month, year by year, is God's strength. That he's so consistent and faithful in making sure that even when we don't even know that it's him, that he's there. That he will not fail us. And I think we become so comfortable in just waking up, putting on our clothes, getting the kids together, walking out the house, driving our car, going to work, doing what we do at work, come home, fix dinner, do anything we need to do around the house, and go to bed, that we forget that every minute of that day was God keeping you and giving you the strength to make it to the end of the day. That sometimes we become so comfortable with just automatically assuming that God will wake us up and that we will make it through the day, that we start thinking about the days ahead of us. And so So then you take on extra stress or extra fear or extra frustration or extra things that may overwhelm you in a present day that haven't even come. And they may not come. Yes, you have to do something that is due on a Friday, but we're still in Monday. Get through Monday. Walk on the strength of Monday. Don't worry about what has to be completed on Friday, because when you get to Friday, it'll be completed. There's a story when the people of Israel were in the wilderness and they were on their way to the promised land. This was during their travel, and they were in the wilderness for longer than they should have been. And so God fed them manna from heaven. But here's the tricky thing about it, or the amazing thing about it. He let this manna, that they were not supposed to eat the manna the next day, that when the manna fell for that day, they could not eat it the next day. There was new manna that came the next day that they were eating. They were not supposed to carry the manna into the next day. So essentially, then we come into some years when Jesus comes into the earth, or comes into the picture. Give us this day our daily bread. That's essentially where it's pulling from, is that God gives us what we need for the day. He gives us what we need for just one day at a time. You can't carry what you had in the previous day into a new day, because he'll give you what you need in that new day. And when we realize that we may not have it in the previous day, but we will have it, what we need, in the next day, because he will supply it. We won't go lacking. All he wants us to do is to make sure that we know where it comes from and who is the reason why we made it through that day. It's give us this day our daily bread. Daily bread. Give us this day. Not give us a week, but give us this day. And that's what I learned in this three-day fast of just water, is that I had to lean on him every day just to make it through the day. I was not concerned about what was coming, just to make it through the day. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you there were not moments where I was like, oh man, if I could just make it to Thursday and after this surgery, I can eat. Yeah, those were those moments. But I was immediately brought back, because every time I thought about that, it was like strength was pulled from me, which made it harder just to make it through the day, because now I have in my mind created this thing where I'm just trying to make it to Thursday. No, switch that. Try to just make it to the end of the day. And then when you wake up the next day, try to make it to the next end of that day. You go a day at a time. That's where God's strength works the best. And here's the crazy thing about it. That Wednesday, when I went into the gym to do Metcon, and we usually do HIIT, we do a 30-minute workout. And the 30-minute workout is usually 6 rounds of 5 different exercises. Why on the day that I am fasting with nothing but water, we do 8 rounds? And here's the thing. I made it through 8 rounds on nothing but water. So while I was worried about just making it through the workout, I went over and above of what we would normally do, but I wasn't even on food. I was on water. That's because God will give me what I need in the moment I need it, and no sooner than I need it. He'll give us what we need. Our strength is not found in ourselves. It's found in him. And so that led me to, I thought about a scripture in Isaiah. I'm starting to really like Isaiah. I think I'm gonna go back and read Isaiah, because Isaiah was the prophet that was prophesying about Jesus coming. So yeah, he was that prophet. So Isaiah 40, verse 28, and I'll read to 31. It says, "Do you not know, have you not heard, the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, does not become weary or tired. His understanding is inscrutable. He gives strength to the weary, and to him who lacks might he increase power. Though youth grow weary and tired, and vigorous young men stumble badly, yet those who wait for the Lord will gain new strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not get tired. They will walk and not become weary." There's so much in this particular scripture. One, if he doesn't get tired, there's nothing about him that gets tired. That when you look at God, he's consistent in every way. That he does not show up one day in one way, and then the next day he doesn't show up. He's consistent in all that he does. He does not get weary, he does not get tired. And if we serve a God that does not get weary and does not get tired, that who has created me, then that must mean that I have the same ability that he has. But it doesn't mean that I'm getting it in my own. I'm getting it from him. The strength that I have and the ability that I have comes from the one who already has it, who continues to have it, who does not fail, who does not get tired, who does not sleep or slumber. Every night you lay down, every night we wake up. That's because he keeps a watch for hours. He does not get tired or weary. He gives strength to the weary. And to him who lacks might, he increases power. So even when you feel weak, when you feel like you don't have the strength to make it through, he will increase it. I mean, over the past few days, I have just really been honing in on this thought about that there is absolutely nothing that I can do without God. Nothing. He has to be in the picture. I do not want to be separated from him. I don't want to even feel like I can do things without him. God is the reason that I am. And so when we get to that place, then you are able to conquer anything that comes against you. It might seem small to some people, but in that moment, and I haven't done that in a while, like that, fasting 3 days with nothing but water, God was the reason that I made it through. So while I was praying and fasting for my wife, he was showing me just how strength and how mighty he is. That he'll give me enough to sustain me. To be found in me worrying about what's to come or worrying about days beyond. But he'll give me what I need for that day. That he is my strength. That he is everything that I need. That what I lack, he fulfills. So I'm trying to be more conscious of not thinking about what's coming in the next days. Not to say that I'm not planning. That's different. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is when I start worrying about what's to come or what's happening in the next day. That's where the issue comes in. God will sustain us. He'll give us what we need for that next day. He'll give us what we need. So let's not be so comfortable in just believing that we're doing this in our own strength. Or so comfortable that God will wake me up. He'll wake me up. It's just, I'm just going to wake up the next day. No, he doesn't have to do that. Becoming too comfortable. It's becoming too common for us that we automatically assuming that the day is promised and that we are just making through the day. No, at the end of the day, we should be telling God, thank you for allowing me to make it through the day. That not only did he give you strength to make it through the day, but he also protected you every step of the way. That was the things that were seen and unseen. Things that you have no earthly idea that was coming towards you, but he kept you. So even when we got to the hospital, as early as we got there, and then we still had to wait because of some people going before us who needed a lung transplant, or it was okay. God has a plan. God knows what he's doing. Things don't happen just for happenstance. Things happen for a reason. And when we realize that God has everything in control, even the things that we don't have the answers to, then you'll see God move in these different ways in your life. One last thing. Yeah. So I've been watching this I guess I call it a series. It's called The Chosen. I've been watching it for the past. I started watching it in the hospital, and it's been really, really good. It's basically, if you don't even know anything about it, it's basically a series about the life of Jesus, and they just kind of walked through the scripture and made it into a series. It's really, really good. And so there's been little things that I've heard that have kind of like been like nuggets I've been taking away from it. And in one of the episodes, the character playing Jesus was talking to one of the disciples. I think he was talking to Matthew. No, it was Thomas. This is after the wedding at Canaan, where Jesus turned the water into wine. His wife he was trying to figure out how in the world did Jesus turn this water into wine, and Jesus basically said, follow me. Basically, give up what you're doing and come with me. And so his wife was asking him, what are your thoughts? And he was just standing there in shock because he couldn't believe that this water had been turned into wine. And so she says to him, she says, well, how do you feel? And he said, I don't know what to think. And she says this. She says, maybe when you stop thinking, it's when you'll figure it out. And I think that is so so good because maybe we are thinking too much. Maybe God doesn't need us to think. That when we think, we get ourselves in trouble, and we allow ourselves to fall into this space of fear and anxiety. Sometimes just trying to figure things out is too much. And when we get to thinking, that's when we miss God. And all he wants us to do is to follow him. It may not make sense. It may not look like it's making sense. It may seem very weird. You may not have no understanding of it. It's like, why is this happening now? All of those things. Yeah, just stop thinking. Let him show you what needs to be shown. So yeah, every day, realizing that it's God's strength that's gotten me through. That leaning on him is the only reason that I'm able to make it through. That his strength is found. That my strength is found in him. And not becoming so engulfed in what I'm doing that I believe it's me. Give us this day our daily bread. I think we're going into season 4. It's been a ride. So listen, hey, thank y'all for rocking with me. And we're going to catch y'all on the next episode. We're going to go into the new season with a bang. Try to do some new things. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.